Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the ocular drug delivery system. It is considered the part in the novel drug delivery system. So in that ocular drug delivery system is a system that we have to see that it involves the administration of drug. So we have to administer the drug into the ophthalmic part or into the eye. So in ocular administrations of the any drug is primarily that associated with the basic need to treat our the ophthalmic disease. So they are specialized dosage form, the ophthalmic or ocular dosage form that we have to call, that is a specialized dosage form that is designed to instill the drug onto the external surface of the eye, so that we have to use topically, that we have to apply to the external surface of the eye. Other option that we have to design like that, so that administered inside, so that is intraocular, or the adjacent part if we have to install into that eye portion, that is periocular. So like that are there topically that we have to instill intraocular, periocular, like that. So that is used in the conjunction with the ophthalmic device. So that is, we can call that it the apply to the topically to the cornea part, or instill into the space that between the eyeball and the lower eyelid. So if we have to see that the skin is the largest surface area, that highest accessibility for the drug administration. So due to their accessibility of the eye also, the eye surface, so we have to choose for the topical administration of ophthalmic medications or drugs. That is most common method for treating the conditions that is affecting the external, the eye surface part. So for that, the anatomy and the physiology part of that eye, that render it is difficult. So we have to difficult to achieve the effective drug concentrations at the target site. So for that, so efficient drug delivery through that the barrier, that is protective ocular barrier, so which minimize of its systemic side effect. So that is remaining a major challenge for the scientists to develop the ocular drug delivery system. Most commonly we have to see that the ophthalmic dosage form, the conventional dosage form that we have to use, that is in solution form, suspension form, like that, or in the ointment, gel, like that. So that is our conventional ophthalmic dosage form that most widely we have to use. But this conventional, we have to see the preparation that we have to instill into the eye, so that go for the rapidly drain away. So drainage problems are there from the ocular cavity. So due to our tear flow or the lacrimal drainage, like that part, so that not stay for longer time into the eye. So rapidly they have to spill out, drain out. So from, we have to call that past 2 decades, the scientists or researchers in the pharma field, that focusing the two main the problem or challenges, or that strategies are there too. What is that? That is that increase the corneal permeability, that is one, and second, that to prolong the, or to extend it or prolong, sustain the contact time, resident time on that ocular surface. So that two main major challenges are there. So if we have to go for ideal ophthalmic drug release system, so it must be able to that sustain the drug release, prolong or extended the drug release for the prolonged or longer period of time, and then to remain in that vicinity of the front of the eye, so in that surface of the eye for a prolonged period of time. So that we can call as ideal ophthalmic drug delivery system. In the now recent advance in that dosage form, ocular or ophthalmic drug delivery systems, so you have to go for the ophthalmic insert or ocular insert, the implants, intravitreal injections. In that also you have to go for the ophthalmic liposome, neosomes like that, nanoparticles. So that are the newest, the advanced dosage form in the ophthalmic drug delivery system. So the ophthalmic, generally we can call the ophthalmic ocular drug delivery system is one of the important, we can call the interesting and challenging endeavors facing by the scientists or pharmaceutical or pharma industrial persons. So that now we have to go for the innovations in advancing that ophthalmic drug delivery system. So before we have to go for the development or preparation of any ophthalmic drug delivery systems, we have to know about the anatomy and physiology of the eye, the different parts of the eye. The eyeballs are there, the optic nerves, the cornea, sclera, iris, pupil, lens, retina, like that the parts are there and their role. So that we have to know, that is seen in that the slide. What is sclera, cornea, iris, pupil, lens, retina, like that. So that we have to, basic knowledge we have to require for that ocular drug delivery system. So the inside that we can call eyeball is divided by the lens into two fluid filled sections. Two humors are there. At the larger sections at the back of the eye, that is filled with the colorless gelatinous mass. That is we can call vitreous humor. The smaller section in front that contains a clear water-like transparent material is called aqueous humors. So that the basic anatomy physiology concept regarding that. So further we have to know about in the human eye, so diameter about 23 millimeters, structures that is comprised of three layers, outermost, middle and the inner layers. So in the outermost, the clear transparent cornea, in the middle layer iris, and the inner layer that is retina. So that type of basic information that we have to know. In the cornea, the epithelium structures, water fat structures are there, the penetration of drugs that depend on their oil water partition coefficient for the permeability or the absorption part. So we have to see that the composition of the tear. So that secretion is clear, that we have to see that watery fluid containing the salt, numerous salts, glucose, other organic compounds are there. Approximately 0.7% proteins, enzymes, like that portions are also there. Major portion, that is water, 98 something percentage are there, and other that the salt, sugar, proteins, like that parts are there. For the ocular absorption, that is corneal absorption, non-corneal absorption, that we have to know. So that depend upon the physicochemical properties of drug. For the corneal part, only access to the small ionic and lipophilic molecules for the absorption. Outer epithelium, so rate limiting barrier for that, for the corneal absorption part. Also that is the transcellular transport. So transport between the corneal epithelium and the stroma. So example for that type of corneal absorption, that is pilocarpine. Non-corneal absorption, so penetration across the sclera conjunctiva into the intraocular tissues, that is non-productive because penetration drug is absorbed by the central circulation, minor pathway as compared to corneal absorption. So it is important for the drug with low corneal permeability, so that go for the non-corneal absorption, inulin, like that the example for that. So here they represent the general pathway that we have to see, the corneal, non-corneal transports are there, transcorneals, like that. So the drug in the tear fluids, so ocular absorption 5% of the dose that go for that corneal route, and the non-corneal, that is conjunctiva and the scleral route. So the first route, that is corneal route, small lipophilic drugs go for that. In the non-corneal, large hydrophilic type of drugs are there, so that go for the vitreous humors. The corneal routes that go for aqueous humor, and then ocular tissues are there. In systemic absorption, the major route, conjunctiva of the eyes, minor route in that lacrimal drainage, like that things are the aqueous humors, inner ocular tissues are there. Then go for the, after the systemic absorption, they go for the elimination part. Another, the various penetration barriers for the drug absorption in the eye. So in that, the transcorneal and the non-corneal. In transcorneal penetrations, two pathways are there, paracellular and the transcellular. Paracellular for hydrophilic drugs that is absorbed, transcellular for lipophilic drug. Then it is to the aqueous humor, go for metabolism elimination. Similar for non-corneal penetration, so through the conjunctives and the sclera, hydrophilic large molecule drugs generally go for that penetration or permeation, then it is humor, and then go for the metabolism and the elimination phase. So in that we have to see the barriers in ocular absorption. So precorneal constraints, so that includes the drainage part solution, lacrimation, tear dilutions are there, conjunctival absorptions in corneal constraints, so that is red emitting barrier, that already we have to see that the three layers are the outer epithelial, stroma and the endothelial parts are there. So which are the factors that are affecting, that we have to see the intraocular permeability penetrations ultimately for the viability parts. So in that they majorly include precorneal, corneal and the interior of that eye. So with that we have to justify with that points that inflow and outflow of that lacrimal fluid, that we have to affect into the part, efficiency of nasolacrimal drainage, dilution with tear, corneal barriers, that we have to see the three layers are there, physicochemical properties of the drug, so that also that drug nature, the lipophilic or hydrophilic, their molecular size, weight, their partition coefficient, so active ion transport at the cornea, interactions of drug with proteins of that lacrimal fluid, like that these are the factors that affecting the intraocular viability parts. Next we have to see the advantages of the that control the ocular drug delivery system. That advanced we have to go for it. So it increase the accurate dosing. So we can say that overcome the side effect of the plus dose produced by the conventional system, that we have to give the higher dose as compared to we have to go for controlled drug release system. So the accurate dosings are there. They provide the sustained controlled drug release type of, increase the ocular viability of the drug by increasing the corneal, the contact time, that increase the contact time or the resident time in that particular surface of the eye, so that also increase the absorption profile, that may be achieved by the adhesive properties, adhesion, effective adherence to the corneal surface, the adhesive, mucoadhesive base, like that we have to go for it. So next, to provide the targeting within the ocular globe, so loss of, as to prevent the loss of other ocular tissues, site-specific targeted parts. It provides the comfort, better compliance to the patients, and improve the therapeutic performance of the drug also, where we have to go for control ocular drug delivery system, and it provides the better housing of the delivery system. Some disadvantages of that, the ocular drug delivery system, that we have to see, it is compared to the conventional, when we have to go for the control based ocular drug delivery system, so it becomes expensive for the economical part. Insertion technique, that is difficult for the individual persons or patients. The cells are not fully transparent, and thus they reduce sometimes visual activity. Occasionally inadvertent losses are there, difficult to handle for the insertion parts. Sometimes the foreign body sensations are there, the irritation, toxicity person to the particular part. So here we have to see that the limitation of that conventional drug delivery system, the ocular, and the advantage of that advance. So that rapid precorneal elimination we have to face with the conventional ocular part. Solution drainage are there with the gravity force, frequent instillation is necessary. So like similar like the dose frequency. So frequently installations portions are there. So we have to instill frequently number of times for the, so that go for the patient inconvenience. And conjunctival absorptions are there. So as compared to the conventional ocular drug system, in advantage we have to see that is we have to get the sustained control drug release, site specific targeting parts are there, protect the drug from chemical and enzymatic hydrolysis, increasing the contact time, so that also improving viability, reduce the frequent instillations, so we have to get the better patient compliance. So these are some advantages as compared to the conventional ocular drug delivery system. Next, that is the ideal characteristic of the ocular drug delivery system. So before that, we have to see in the disadvantages part, the physiological restrictions, so limited permeability from the cornea, so sometimes low absorption profile of the some drug that we have to face. Major portion of the drug if administered that go for the drain out, if conventional, so by the into the lacrimal ducts, so that causes sometimes unwanted side effects, rapid eliminations of the drug with the eye blinking, tear flow, so lesser time for the shorter durations, so that times frequent dosage regimen, so those instilled you would require more number of times. So that are some limitations are there for the ocular drug delivery system for the conventional point of view. For the mechanisms that we use with the drug release into the eye, so the corneal absorptions, there is a major mechanism for the absorptions of the most conventional ocular drug release. Passive diffusion is a major mechanism for the absorption if we have to go for the erodible, non-erodible portions for the ocular insert. And controlled release can further regulated by the gradual the dissolution of the solid dispersed drugs that we have to within the matrix type of formulation that we have to prepare, so that results of inward diffusion of that aqueous solution. So like that the mechanism of drug release into the ocular part. Next, in that ideal characteristic that we have to see for the ocular drug delivery system, so the delivery of drug at right place, that reduce the drainage of drug by the tear flow, so that we have to require ideally the right place drug that reach with the tear flow, the drainage portions are there that we have to face with the conventional general ocular drug system, that we have to reduce, should cause more local activities than the systematic. Generally we have to apply for local, the ophthalmic disease local treatments. Dose frequency that we would require the less for the patient compliance. Number of times we have to instill, so that not convenient for the patient. Easy to self-administer if possible, so then it is very means patient compliance are there. Sterilizable, that we highly require for the any ocular drug system on the large scale. So good corneal penetrations, that profile we would require. Prolonged contact time, that also the major problems are there, so that for the corneal tissue the prolonged contact or longer contact time that we would require. Then non-irritatives, means irritations problems are not faced in that the ocular parts, so it is comfortable. Chemically inert stables, that the ideal, these are the some ideal characteristics for the ocular drug delivery system. Here that we have to see the different types of classification of that ocular drug delivery system that we have to see. So generally the first, that is conventional, that most widely or popularly that we have to use day to day, that is the conventional ocular drug delivery system, that in that you have to heard the name the eye drops. So that is the in the form of solution, suspension, emulsion, like the other than the ointment, eye ointments, the gel. So like that is the examples or types of for the conventional ocular drug delivery systems. Then in that the innovations, continuous research are there, and then go for the control release In that, the examples for that, the polymeric base that we have to go for it, implant, hydrogels, like that they go for it. Then the recent advances are there for the vesicular base, ocular base. So in that examples, the liposome, neosomes, like that go for it. Particular, the small particle size base that we have to go for it, for microparticles, nanoparticles are there. Then also advanced parts are there for the gene delivery, stem cells, like that. So most widely the ocular drug systems we have to go for the conventional. Then nowadays we have to go for oral control release system, that is in advanced, newer, novel. In that ocular or ophthalmic inserts are there. In that also the erodible, non-erodible, bioerodible occlusives are there. Contact lens are there. So like that the examples for the ocular drug delivery system. Most widely, which type of the drug that is suitable is most widely used in the ocular part, ophthalmic part on the eye. So miotic, in that the example that is pilocarpine. In mydriasis, atropines are there. Anti-inflammatory, the corticosteroid base are there. Anti-infective, any antibiotics, antiviral, antibacterial drugs are there. Anti-glaucoma, like pilocarpine that we have to use. Sometimes surgical, diagnostic, anesthetic parts are also there for the. So these are some examples that class of drug that most widely used for the ophthalmic preparations. For the formulation consideration, general for formulations, so we have to require the properties for the drug that we have to know, physical chemical profile, API that we have to use. So their properties other than buffer capacity, pH for that solution, antioxidant that you have to use, installation, that volumes, the tonicity, that is also important parts. We have to maintain the isotonicities. Then we have to add the surfactant preservatives, that also you have to know it, because so it generally the safe consideration such materials, that is you have to go for sterile. So sterility that require ocular toxicity and irritation, that we have to consider, because we have to apply for the eye, so there we have to require highly safety. So need to be taken in the account when formulating any ocular drug delivery system. So we have to know about the sterility portion, the toxicity and the irritation to the particular eye. So here we have to see one by one that formulation parts. So in that physicochemical properties that we have to know that, so it includes the factor that affecting the corneal permeability of the drugs. So the lipophilicity, so that we have to go for the partition coefficient and we have to find out the lipophilicity of the drug. So in N-octanol water, the molecular size and shape also we have to know for that ideal suitable for the ocular part. Buffer capacity and the pH, so that match. So normal tear fluid pH it around 7.4. So possess some buffering capacities. So pH should be chosen to the optimize the drug stability. So when pH that deviates from the 7.4, so it's important to aware the buffer capacity, so to minimize the lacrimation, the irritation portions change in the pH, so that we have to know that it's suitable to the eye, not giving any irritation parts. Then the installations volume, so that also that we have to see that without blinking the accommodate the volume, that is 30 microliter. So upon the applications of eye dropper 50 microliters, like the volumes are there, so not excess the volume that remove by the spillage by the nasolacrimal drainage are there. So the installation volume that also you have to consider for the formulation target. So it keeping the applied dose constants while decreasing the installation volume. The tonicity, so that we have to maintain for the any ocular drug system. So tonicity that we have to need to be adjust, so that is exert and osmotic pressures that equal to our tear fluid, so match with the lacrimal fluid, so that not go for the any irritation like that. So it equivalent to around 0.9% of NaCl. So it is ideally, so that we have to maintain So ophthalmic solutions are the hypotonic to enhance the absorption and provide the concentration of that API sufficient to achieve the average efficacy. So commonly the tonicity that we have to adjust, that is agent that we have to use the NaCl, some buffer salt, mannitol, propylene glycol, but widely we have to use NaCl. Antioxidant sorry, so they are commonly added to the mitigation of oxidation issues. So in that the examples, the bisulfite, sodium or meta that we have to widely use as antioxidants for the ocular preparation. The surfactant, so in that the non-ionic surfactants that are used in relatively low concentration to achieve the drug solubility, that portion they improve for the solubility portion. So for the ophthalmic use, the most widely and preferable that is non-ionic surfactant, because surfactants mostly they are going for the toxicity portions, so that we have to go for the GRAS stated. So generally that recognizes a safe, that the surfactant or any excipient that we have to use for the ophthalmic, so it is in a GRAS stated list, and the concentration also we have to maintain for the surfactant within the safe range. Preservatives that we have to add in the preparation, so it helps to prevent the contaminations of the bottle content over the course of multiple use, so that improve the ensure the product stability, protect from the microbial any type of contaminations are there. So most widely commonly used benzalkonium chloride, so that is example for the preservatives. Here for some polymers examples which are given for control type of ocular systems, so the adhesive performance that we have to increase the contact or residence time to the surface portions in the eye. So the adhesive properties performance, the excellent, that is the carbopol generally we have to use, then carboxymethyl cellulose, then we have to go for the good adhesive performance, in that examples polyacrylamides, the hydroxypropyl cellulose, and the dextrans. In the poor portions some natural, there is acacia gelatins, so they have some poor adhesive properties are there. The next is the conventionals, the dosage forms that widely used, that is solution form in the eye drop, that is convenience, but in rapid precorneal eliminations are there, and that not giving any sustained action like that for the solution part. For the suspension, patient compliance, better drug with slow resolution properties are there. For that the performance loss, the drug property decides for both solution and suspended particles. In the emulsion, prolonged release of the drug from the vehicle, but sometimes blur the vision, patient non-compliance with that emulsion parts. Similar like ointment, gel, that we have to go for ointment based flexibilities in the drug choice, improve the drug stability, but sticky of the eyelids, blur the visions, patient compliance, poor performance are there. So that type of the conventional dosage form that are there, that is ointment, gel, eye drops are there, they most widely commonly we have to use. Okay, so in that we have to conclude and summarize that session. So in that we have to see what is the ocular drug system, some basic introduction information for the ocular drug system, then the anatomy physiology of the eye that we have to know, the absorption or penetration portions are there, corneal, non-corneals are there, the factor that influencing the penetration permeability part of the drug, ideal characteristic of the ocular drug system, then the conventional ocular drug systems, advantages, disadvantages compared to conventional, and the control, the classification, various type of ocular drug system. In the next session that we have to see the ocular control drug system, in that the ophthalmic insert, OcuCert, like that. Okay, thank you.